Hi, everybody. My name is Darlene Dotson, and I want to talk to you about this Aquarius New Moon coming up. Um, Generally, new moons are about new beginnings. Well, this new moon, we have got to find a way to leave our argumentative spirit behind. Um, of course, we have got Mercury, Venus, conjunct Jupiter, and it's in our eighth house, and we have an inner desire to be liked. We want people to like us. Well, that is squaring Mars, the planet of action. Okay. And it's our own actions that are causing people not to like us that's happening in, the 11th house, which is the groups we belong to, our dreams, our aspirations, our own actions in this area of life is preventing people from liking us because we are putting our own desires out there. We're putting our own wants out there, and it's just not working. Now, we also, have, let's see, another aspect. Okay, Uranus, which is squaring Saturn. It's an applying aspect. Yes, it won't hit till the 14th, but it's close enough to talk about this first hit because Saturn is in the 8th house, and again, it's squaring Uranus in the 11th house. And again, it's Saturn is restricting us, telling us, that we can't keep going after our desires because our desires are what's hurting us in the long run. We're going to have to look at those desires and the way we communicate those desires and put them out into the world in order to fulfill our dreams because Uranus is falling in the 11th house. Now, this is on the United States' new moon house. It can change if it's in Europe, the houses. But Uranus is telling us that we've got to change with the groups that we belong to, that we've got to change with the things that we're doing, within these groups, with our dreams, with our aspirations, our friendships, if we want to move forward because it's our 8th house and it's scars. Well, our desires are leading to these scars, and we have to stop it. Now, we also have the North Node squaring Neptune, okay? And Neptune is conjunct the MC, the midheaven. And pretty much right now with Neptune in this conjunction to the midheaven in the United States, you're confused about where you're going and what you're doing. You are highly creative and you have a need to help others, but it's squaring that North Node, okay? And you're being hard on yourself, because of the dual personality. You're having to strip away behaviors that don't work because of the dual temperament of your own personality. you want to help others, but you also have to help yourself first. And it's time to trust the universe in the end of this with the karmic lessons that they're providing you, because you do need to connect with the higher self. And that, of course, is Neptune when it's at its highest vibration. You've got to learn how to be your own best friend. And that means putting your desires in check. And I wanted to talk about it because I'm an eighth house person. I have a lot of eighth house planets. And I'm here to tell you, okay, as an eighth house planet, you don't get to blame everybody else for your issues anymore. You're an adult, okay? You have to look at how your own desires have put you in the situation that you're in. Now, I do want to talk also, about a semi-sextile. It's not something we generally talk about because the energies don't match up. Number one, it's felt internally, but there is a lot of potential there. And we have a semi-sextile happening between the North Node, which is what I want to talk about, and Mars. Okay? And Mars, again, is squaring all those planets in Aquarius. And again, the North Node is saying that you want to help other people. Okay? This is your desire. But, and you also want to put your trust into, the universe. But you have a hard time with this. And it's because you get fixed in your attitudes. You want to chase your desires. And you're never going to get to where you want to go if you keep putting your own desires out there and you get so fixated on it that you only want to do things in your own way and you don't let others make their choices. We all have choices in our life, and when we get fixated within the groups or within our friendships that it's always going to be my way, well, you're going to lose friends. They're going to leave you behind because nobody, and I'm going to be honest here, cares about your desires. All they care about is their own desires. And you have to find people in your life that are on the same path as you, that have the same desires as you. And once you find that commonality between people, then you feel like you belong. But again, you can chase them away as fast as you brought them into your life because you decide you're going to get fixated that everything's going to be your way. There's got to be compromise. And I mean, we've got Mars and Taurus, and we've got all these planets in Aquarius. They are both fixed signs. And you're going to have to figure it out. Now, there is a new moon, okay, happening, in Aquarius. And we can help others, okay, because at least this new moon is in the ninth house, okay, of the higher mind, of all of this. And that's what we want to use. We want to use our higher mind. We want to use how we deal with things. We don't want to keep chasing our own desires. We got to do things that are good for everybody. Because on the 14th, we do have that first, Uranus Saturn square, and it's going to hit 3 times. Well, this first time it hits, it's going to show you an issue that you've got to deal with. Okay. Now, yes, this is the moon, chart for the United States. The groups that we belong to, there's got to be changes in it because, we're running after our own desires and leaving people out. It's our scars, okay? And they're being shown to everybody. But for me, just to give you a heads up, Uranus is in my 3rd house, okay, right now. And it is also conjunct my IC, because at 9 degrees, it will be crossing over into my 4th house. So that's about communication, day-to-day affairs. And Saturn is in my 1st house, okay? So I'm having to change things, within how I communicate with others, and especially within my family, so they don't try to restrict me anymore, and that's my own personal journey. But all of this is showing where you are being your own worst enemy with all of this. And I mean, again, chasing your desires, it isn't going to fix anything, okay? You're going to have to take different actions with, the groups that you belong to, with your aspirations and your dreams, if you want to turn them around. Because again, we have this semi-sextile between the North Node and Mars, and it's where we're going. We have to see the reality of the situation, and that our desires have caused all of this. And because we do need to move to Neptune. And I think it's funny that Neptune rules Pisces and the North Node is in the 12th house for this full moon chart. If we move spiritually towards our highest vibration, we're going to be able to get over everything that we have been seeing. And again, the new moon takes place in the 9th house, which rules Sagittarius and the higher mind. And that Jupiter is right now, it rules Sagittarius, and it's in the 8th house, conjunct Venus and Mercury, okay? So again, instead of voicing our desires and expanding our desires and going after them, we have to use our higher mind to overcome these issues that are happening in our life, And once you do, everything will be fine. People will like you. Okay, because you do want to be liked. But to have this new beginning, you're going to have to get over your own self and your own desires. And you're going to have to learn to trust the universe. Okay, it's time for you to connect with your higher self, because that's how you're going to be your own best friend, is by connecting to your higher self. And when you're your own best friend, then others are going to be your best friend. But if you're spewing hate out into the world, then people are going to hate you back. But if you're giving love out into the world, then people are going to love you back. It's just the way of the world. We can't continue on the path that we're on, you know, and expect people to like us. When we cause conflict through our own desires and through our own opinions, okay, there's always going to be somebody with a counter opinion. Share those opinions with people that are like you, okay? But that doesn't mean that somebody who is different than you, that you get to hate on them, okay? Because you're not walking in their shoes. And the creator that created you also created them. And they're being asked to walk a different path, you know, and you've got to let everybody walk their own path. Something I read that is interesting is we get so vested in our sun, okay, our ego, that the moon goes through cycles, okay, and the moon is trying to get rid of behaviors that are invested in our ego. And we need to let go of that ego and go through these cycles, because it does take us to a higher place in life, a higher spiritual awakening. But we've got to go through the cycles. And when we fight with other people, that is nothing more than we feel our honor has been disrespected in some way. And that's what causes the fights. Now, we need to learn to look at how to honor others as much as we honor ourselves. When we honor others in the way that we honor ourselves, then people are going to like us, okay? But again, spilling hate and getting fixed in our attitudes is not going to help the matter. And Gemini North Node is so perfect for these times right now, because we do need to be dual-natured. We need to understand our own path, but we need to understand another's path too. Because Gemini is, changeable energy. They're very intellectual people, okay? They rule the third house of communication, of lower, communication, elementary school, things of that nature. And this all boils down again to we need to learn how to communicate with another in order for them to feel honored and for us to feel honored. And that is what this new moon in Aquarius is about, because the North Node is trining. Well, wait a minute. Nope, it's not. Sorry. Mercury. I knew it was okay. The North Node is trining this Mercury retrograde. So we can get over issues of the past. But again, we have got to use our higher mind, and we've got to get over our own ego and understand others. So That's the message of this new moon in Aquarius. Now, I am going to use the goddess cards, okay, for this new moon in Aquarius. And here they are. I'm getting them out. Okay, new moon in Aquarius. Huh, that's funny. Okay. We drew Mama Killa, the moon. And Cancer rules the moon. And Cancer is very nurturing, as we know. There are cycles in life that we have to go through in order to reach a higher awareness. And the moon being ruled by Cancer, Mama Killa is telling us to be nurturing, to be loving, to be more supportive of the people around you, okay? Not everything has to be your way. You know, that, I mean, this, okay, just so you know, it makes sense to me because Cancer is the ascendant of this new moon, okay? That is how this new moon needs to be seen. It needs to be seen as nurturing, giving, building the foundation that you want, okay? Giving the nurturing of, which you want in your life to come back to you. You've got to give it, okay? I mean, the golden rule, do unto others as you do unto yourself, okay? If you're going to hate yourself, and then go ahead, hate others. But if you love your others, you're going to have to love others in that same understanding way. Yes, you're probably going to leave groups and friendships behind that don't understand you because you do need to be nurtured in the way that you nurture others. But if you're spewing hate, you're not going to get anything but hate back. And that, I mean, Mama Killa is saying that the cycles of the moon have happened. We've got a new beginning happening right now. And, we can take this new beginning and create the world that we want, or continue on the path that hasn't worked for us thus far. That choice is ours. I was listening to a TED Talk today. One of my favorite songs is Aquarius by the band Aquarius, and it's The Age of Aquarius, is the name of the song. And basically, okay, nobody knows when the age of Aquarius will begin, but they talk about Jupiter and Mars and the moon all in alignment. Well, in this TED Talk, okay, they were saying that we're here to create the age of Aquarius by our actions, okay? If we give love out to another, then we're going to get that love back and we can create a more peaceful earth. But if we continue to hate others, whether their culture, their country, you know, their race, you know, their religion, whatever we hate, um, you know, that's going to come back to us for the same reason. But if we reach out in understanding, it's going to create a world of peace. And that's what we need to create. Okay? We can become the age of Aquarius. And I mean, my goodness, all these planets in Aquarius. I mean, we've got the two luminaries, the sun and the moon. Then we've got Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn all in Aquarius. And then Pluto is at the last 5 degrees, okay, of Capricorn. So it's what, you know, it's getting at that close conjunction of being in Aquarius, because we're going to start to feel that energy too. So create that age of Aquarius for yourself and for others. Be the peace that others seek. Be the peace for yourself. Okay? Use an understanding nature. I mean, the potential's there between the Mars and, you know, the North Node, but we're never going to get to it unless we create it. We have got to put it in our own minds that we can do it. So, anyway, that is the message of this new moon in Aquarius happening February 11th at, you know, 2:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So have a great month, and I hope the seeds of this new moon take total flight for you, and use your voice in a positive way. Use your voice to help others. Use your voice to be love. Have a great one, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.